She blooms in quiet places. Chapter 1. The silence they overlooked. They never saw her coming because she never made a sound. No fireworks, no fanfare, just the hush of quiet becoming. In a world that applauds noise, she whispered her growth. Between raindrops and rough days, between bills unpaid and dreams they called cute but unrealistic. She wasn't born for center stage. She was born for sunlit corners, for journal pages, for late night prayers whispered through salt-streaked cheeks. She is the hush after heartbreak, the stillness that follows a storm, the inhale before brilliance. They called her shy. She was studying. They called her soft. She was sharpening. They called her too quiet. She was gathering. Roots, peace, power. Not every bloom needs an audience. Some flowers grow from concrete in alleyways no one visits, and still they stretch towards the sun like royalty. Because silence doesn't mean small. It means sacred. It means don't disturb. Something holy is happening here. Chapter 2. Watered by softness. She learned to water herself with things the world called weak. Kindness, stillness, forgiveness that stretched further than she thought she could reach. Not every revolution wears armor. Some wear satin robes, face masks, and stillness so deep it echoes in generations. Softness was never her weakness. It was the strategy, the secret weapon, the sacred resistance. She knew how to hold pain like a child, gently rocking it until it softened into wisdom. She knew the power of a no wrapped in grace, the strength in walking away without slamming the door. The world tried too hard in her, told her to toughen up, to stop crying, to get louder. But she bloomed anyway, watering herself with lavender tea, slow mornings, and boundary-lined peace. Softness saved her. Softness raised her. Softness reminded her she didn't have to become the fire to survive the burn. She could be the garden. Chapter 3. Unfolding without permission. She didn't ask the world for permission to be her full self anymore. She just was. Bold, blooming. A story unfolding line by line in a language she never apologized for. They told her to shrink, to soften her voice, to take up less space, but she laughed. That deep belly laugh that cracked ceilings and echoed through rooms built to contain her. She didn't wait for approval before she loved herself the way she needed to be loved. She didn't seek validation before she danced barefoot in her kitchen, wine in hand, hips writing poetry to whatever song was playing. Unfolding for her meant showing up in wholeness before the world figured out how to label her. She was not made to be understood. She was made to be felt, to be witnessed, to be honored. And baby, when she gave herself permission, she never looked back. She dressed her wounds with glitter, turned her scars into rhythm, spoke life over her reflection like scripture. She realized power doesn't always arrive with noise. Sometimes it walks in quietly, wearing locks, lip gloss, and peace like perfume. Chapter 4. The Sacred Ordinary. Not every moment needed fireworks. Not every day needed to roar. Sometimes her magic showed up in the quiet ways. Folding laundry, with a candle flickering in the corner, sipping tea like it was sacred, humming old songs her grandmother used to play while the light danced on her walls. She started to see how divinity dressed itself up in her daily rituals. The scent of shea butter on her skin, the click of her nails on her journal, the rhythm of her breath as she chose calm over chaos. It wasn't always about becoming more. Sometimes it was about noticing what had been sacred all along. That her laugh was an offering, that her rest was resistance, that her joy wasn't extra. It was essential. She didn't need a stage to shine. Her light reached wherever she was willing to sit still and glow. The sacred lived in the simmer, in the pause, in the black woman who made a home inside her own being and called it enough. Chapter 5. Soft doesn't mean weak. She wasn't raised in a world that made softness easy, but she carved it out anyway, deliberately, tenderly, like a wild flower growing between concrete slabs. They mistook her softness for surrender, but she knew soft was strength in satin. It was courage that didn't need armor. See, she could flip a boardroom with one glance, then go home and cry to a jazz record because her soul needed to breathe. Softness, for her, was allowing herself to feel without apology. It was giving grace when she had every reason to go cold. It was saying no with velvet in her voice and yes to herself without asking for permission. Her softness didn't shrink her, it centered her. She could be silk and steel, both honey and heat, both open palm and iron will, because softness wasn't weakness. It was wisdom that knew the world was hard enough, so she didn't have to be. It was healing in a voice that still sang after being silenced. It was rising every day, choosing peace over pride and freedom over fear. She was soft like revolution, quiet like thunder coming, and still they wondered how she glowed without burning. Chapter 6. Notes to my younger self. Hey, baby girl. Yeah, you. The one with big eyes and even bigger dreams. The one they tried to shrink with silence. Come sit with me a while. Let me whisper you some truths the world forgot to tell you. First, you are not too much. Not your laugh, not your love, not your questions or your curls. Your existence doesn't need to be trimmed to fit into anyone's small idea of who you should be. You are magic wrapped in melanin. Your thoughts have weight. Your words, wings. I know they told you to hush, to tone it down, to sit still, but you were never meant to just exist. You were meant to take up space, to bloom wild and unapologetic. And sis, that mirror lied to you some days, didn't it? But you are fine, like royalty fine, like sun-kissed by the ancestors fine. Your beauty isn't in the mold, it's in the break from it. Let me tell you what I wish someone had told me back then. You don't need to be perfect to be worthy. You can fail and still be fabulous. You can cry and still be courageous. You can lose your way and still find you again. That crown on your head, it's invisible to some, but it's there. And every scar you carry, that's just proof you survived the fire and didn't turn to ash. So walk with your head high, baby girl. Speak even if your voice trembles. Dream even when the world doesn't clap. And love deeply, fiercely, freely, especially yourself. If I could hug you right now, I'd tell you, you are everything you've been looking for. Chapter 7. Let her rest. Not because she's weak, but because she's carried galaxies in her bones and never once complained. Because her hands have been altars and battlefields. Because her mind, oh, her mind, has been on 10 since before dawn. Let her rest. Let her drop the cape, the crown, the calendar, the constant need to explain her worth to rooms that never deserved her. Let her be soft again. Not small, soft. Because softness is a revolution too. Let her kick off those heels that click-clacked through concrete jungles and corporate trenches. Let her wrap up in silk and stillness. Let her close her eyes without fear of being called lazy or selfish or too into herself. Let her light some sage, play some Coltrane, pour a glass of red, and remember that she is more than her to-do list. She is soul and story. She is rhythm and rest. And to the world, always demanding her hustle, you'll be all right. She's not your mule. She's not your 24/7 inspiration channel. She is human. She is healing. She is holy. So tonight, don't text her. Don't tug on her energy. Don't ask her for one more thing. Just let her rest. Let her stretch into the kind of peace that doesn't ask for performance. Let her sleep, dream, and deep. And when she rises, oh, when she rises, she'll glow so bright, you'll swear the sun had taken notes.